So what we have to realize is that the forces of nature can never be defeated. They literally are negentropic. There is no on switch. That only exists in the ego. That's the ego world, and that's the world of the technology that has on and off buttons and controllable components and programmable components because of this ancient, and goodness knows that there's a whole other question of even how ancient it is, but even leaving that aside, an ancient antipathy, not between male and female, as it has been, I'll go easy, I'll say somewhat misguidedly represented in front of us. The war has been between masculine and feminine, which is within each of us. It's not just a polarized thing at all, and it's to suspend or permanently delay the ultimate chemical wedding, which is the reason why we exist. Man on this planet, Aristotle called it entelechy, the natural movement of this to that. When you plant a potato, it becomes a potato, not a daffodil. When you plant an oak, it becomes an oak, not an elm. Within the potentiality, the seed is the end. And he used the Greek word entelechy to say, in the seed is its final goal. It's the fractal people know all about this. They've worked it out now, right? So the thing is that also psychologically, biologically, and humanly, it's the same. Within the human being is the God. Within the human being is the Buddha. Within the human being is the enlightened one, the magus, the wizard, the great one, the high one, the elder. And whether you like it or not, and no matter how many boulders you put on top of it, no matter how many dead ends you go down, no matter how many distractions you get into, and this was brought out beautifully in the movie Zardoz by John Boorman, no matter how much technology you build, no matter how many walls, no matter how many vortexes, no matter how many lies, no matter what you do, that entelechy is going to continue. And no matter what kind of psychic dictatorship, global village, silicon revolutions you create, you cannot stop that process because it's way deeper than thought. It's way deeper than mind.
It's deeper than emotion. It's something that is emoting the emotion.
These are only the branches and flowers of something infinitely deeper. Heidegger put it this way. He said that thinking is one step later than being. You have to exist before you can think. I mean, in one way, it's a no-brainer. But unfortunately, even the greatest philosophers spent hundreds of years trying to work and they never got there. And then he said, then reason, which is an attribute of thought, is one step later again. So how can reason, and how can even thinking, know the mysteries of being? It's like a 3-year-old knowing its mother has a personality and a love life and a youth and all these interests. The child is incapable of understanding that. It's just not possible. So all the scientism, all the religions are attempting to use reason, and I'm not against reason, I'm actually an advocate of reason, but within a practical sphere of influence. I also know where reason's limits are.
Yes, and not to the exclusion of the being.
Right. What has happened is that women, men have been forced to conform to very impractical forms of reason, and to split. Then we have another split: reason and emotion, or mind and heart. Once you've started one dualism, it just keeps going forever until you come back to these fundamental understandings.